Welcome back to Baha'i Reflections here on the Deep Dive. It is truly great to have you with us.
Yeah, it really is.
We're embarking on a brand new series today, a really special journey, I think, into some foundational texts that can, well, unlock profound insights for your life.
Definitely looking forward to this one.
And hey, if you're finding value in these deep dives and you want more content like this, please make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. It genuinely helps us out.
It really does. And for those of you looking for even more, like exclusive content, early access, maybe some behind-the-scenes stuff,
Yeah.
consider joining our membership.
Yeah.
That support is honestly what keeps these explorations going.
It absolutely is. Couldn't do it without you.
So we are absolutely thrilled about this particular series. It marks the very beginning of our deep dive into the Ruhi Institute books. We're starting this week with Book 1, Reflections on the Light of the Spirit.
Book 1. And for this initial deep dive, we're focusing right on section 1 of Book 1. It's titled, aptly, Understanding the Baha'i Writings.
A perfect place to start. It sets a remarkable foundation.
Yeah, and our mission for this deep dive really is to explore the foundational concepts presented right here in this first section, connect them directly to your daily life, and understand their profound implications for what it means to be a Baha'i.
Right.
And even more broadly, for your own personal spiritual growth, regardless of your background, it's about that practical wisdom.
Exactly. And the source material itself states the purpose of this initial unit very clearly. It's to strengthen the habit of reading passages from the holy writings every day and reflecting on their meaning.
So not just reading, but reflecting.
Yeah.
Strengthening that habit.
Correct. This isn't just like an intellectual exercise. It's about consistently cultivating a spiritual practice.
Yeah.
One that can genuinely transform your inner landscape.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because it starts with something very simple, but incredibly powerful, this habit of daily reflection. And when you look at how the Baha'i writings approach this, here's where it gets really interesting.
So as we just touched on, the main aim here, the primary purpose of this whole unit, is really to help you develop and strengthen that habit. Reading passages from the holy writings every single day.
Every day.
And then reflecting on their meaning. This isn't just a suggestion. It's presented as, well, a crucial transformative discipline.
Okay.
And the unit kicks off with a pretty straightforward exercise. It's designed not just to help you reflect on these profound statements, but also to actually memorize them.
Memorization, too. Why is that important?
Well, memorizing is seen as a powerful way to integrate them really deeply into your consciousness. So they actually start to shape your actions, not just stay as ideas.
I really appreciate that focus on habit. It's not about like a one-off spiritual high.
No, exactly.
But cultivating consistency, daily practice, like building any muscle, right?
Yeah.
Regular exercise.
That's a great analogy.
And these first quotes, they really lay the groundwork. Let's dive into the first one. It's a powerful statement from Bahá'u'lláh. The betterment of the world can be accomplished through pure and goodly deeds, through commendable and seemly conduct. And the source asks us, quite simply, how can the betterment of the world be accomplished?
It's such a profound statement, yet so simple on the surface. What's truly revolutionary here, I think, isn't just that action is needed.
Right.
But that every single seemingly small private act of integrity or kindness, not just, grand gestures or big political movements, that's precisely how global transformation happens.
Wow. So it really empowers the individual.
Massively. It empowers you in your daily life. You become the true agent of change. Pure and goodly deeds that suggest actions from a pure heart, good intentions. Actions that help not just you, but others, society.
And commendable and seemly conduct.
That's behavior that's praiseworthy, appropriate, harmonious. In all situations, it immediately grounds your spiritual goals in practical, observable behavior.
So you have to embody your values, not just talk about them.
Exactly. It's not enough to say you want a better world.
You have to do things that actively contribute. I mean, think about it, like a small act of compassion in a tough conversation at work, choosing honesty when it's inconvenient, or even just doing your job diligently. Honestly, that all adds up.
It absolutely contributes to that betterment. It's like that quiet ripple effect, starting from individual choices. This simple statement is a foundational principle for both personal and societal transformation.
Okay.
It puts the responsibility squarely on your daily choices and actions. Shows how even seemingly minor ethical decisions build the fabric of a just society.
Which logically leads us right into the second quote, another powerful warning from Baha'u'lláh. Beware, O people of Baha, lest ye walk in the ways of them whose words differ from their deeds.
Oof, correct.
Very direct. The question is, in whose ways should we not walk?
This hits hypocrisy head on. Or even just, inconsistency. We're warned not to follow those whose words, whose proclaimed beliefs, whose promises don't match their actions.
Because that undermines trust.
Completely.
Yeah.
At every level. Personal, collective, internally. It creates this split within the person, a lack of spiritual integrity, authenticity,
Right.
and externally. It just erodes credibility, breeds cynicism in others. It destabilizes relationships, communities, everything.
So what does this really mean for us? Day to day, it's about walking the talk, isn't it?
Absolutely. Walk the talk.
If you talk about honesty, be honest. If you talk unity, don't gossip or create division. It forces this constant self-check. Am I living what I say I believe? Or am I creating a disconnect? It requires real self-awareness.
Yeah.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, especially community building, consistency is just paramount. Trust in any group, family, neighborhood, faith community, it's built on reliability, authenticity.
And when words and deeds differ, that trust shatters. Makes genuine collaboration, mutual support, any real collective progress incredibly difficult. It's core to building a healthy spiritual society.
That distinction really hits home. Okay, let's move to another incredibly profound one. Again, from Bahá'u'lláh. This is from the Hidden Words. O son of being, bring thyself to account each day ere thou art summoned to a reckoning.
Wow.
The source asks, what should we do before we are summoned to a reckoning?
This is such a powerful, proactive call. Daily self-accounting, introspection.
Really?
Every day. It urges this continuous self-assessment, not just passively waiting for some, distant final
A
judgment.
reckoning. That's like the divine assessment.
That's the implication.
Yeah.
Your life, deeds, intentions weighed. But the teaching is, bring yourself to account each day. Cultivate that self-awareness. Identify strengths, weaknesses, continuously.
So it's like a spiritual tool for constant improvement.
Exactly. Prevents stagnation.
Yeah.
Keeps you aligned with your higher purpose. It's a mechanism for accelerated growth.
I find that so empowering. It's proactive. Don't wait for the final exam. Study and review every single day.
Right.
Don't wait for someone else or even God to judge you later. Be your own honest judge now. Strive for betterment now.
It's a deeply personal, empowering spiritual practice. And this raises an important question. How does consistent self-reflection actually prevent that stagnation and lead to real transformation?
How does it?
By regularly examining our motives, our words, our actions, we stop negative patterns from taking root. We actively choose paths aligned with our ideals. It's dynamic, it's ongoing, becoming the person you aspire to be, refining your character constantly.
Okay, that makes sense. And building on that theme of action, deeds over words, there's another quote from Bahá'u'lláh. Say, O brethren, let deeds, not words, be your adorning.
Let deeds be your adorning.
So what should be our true adorning?
It reinforces that primacy of action. Again, our adorning, what truly beautifies us spiritually, isn't our eloquence, our arguments, even our stated intentions.
It's our deeds.
It's our concrete, consistent deeds. True character, genuine faith, they're measured not by what we say, but by how we live. The tangible expression of our inner state.
It makes me think of the difference between someone who talks about being a great friend versus someone who actually shows up when you need them. Practical help, support. The second person is truly adorned by their deeds, right? No words needed.
Precisely. It's the difference between a concept and its authentic embodiment in the world.
And wrapping up this first set, there's a statement about the ultimate consequence. Holy words and pure and goodly deeds ascend unto the heaven of celestial glory. Also Bahá'u'lláh.
Ascend.
Yeah. What do holy words and pure and goodly deeds do?
This speaks to their spiritual consequence, their elevation. When words are holy, pure, kind, truthful, good intent, and deeds are pure and goodly, they aren't just stuck here on earth. They ascend unto the heaven of celestial glory. That implies a profound spiritual impact, divine acceptance, a direct contribution to our spiritual journey, our destiny beyond this life.
So it's not just about making earth better.
No, it suggests an eternal resonance, an elevation of the soul,
Yeah.
getting closer to the divine essence, achieved through aligning our daily lives with spiritual principles.
Wow. So our good actions or good words, they resonate in a spiritual dimension, maybe even help us grow closer to God. That's deeply inspiring. Far-reaching.
Okay, so moving into what the source calls section 2, the exercises here, they're specifically designed to help you reflect further on the significance of the passages.
Go deeper.
Exactly. And crucially, it says they are not meant to be done mechanically, which emphasizes, active engagement, thoughtful consideration, not just rote answers.
Right. It's about really internalizing these concepts so they actually guide your life. Digestion, not just consumption.
Well put.
Okay, the first exercise asks us to identify what is commendable, meaning worthy of praise, from a list. The list includes to be a good worker, to respect others, to be studious, to be a liar, to be lazy, and to serve others, which are commendable. And maybe more importantly, how do they connect back to those first quotes about bettering the world?
Well, the commendable ones are pretty clear, right? To be a good worker, to respect others, to be studious, and to serve others.
Yeah.
They align directly with pure and goodly deeds and commendable and seemly conduct. They're productive, build positive relationships, foster growth, help others.
And the others? Liar! Lazy!
Clearly not commendable. They're detrimental to integrity, trust, contribution. They embody the opposite of what's needed for a better world, opposite of commendable conduct.
Got it. Direct connection. And the next question ties back to that daily self-accounting. What does the phrase, "Ere thou art summoned to a reckoning," mean?
It basically means before you are called to account for your actions, usually by God, right? That ultimate moment of evaluation.
Okay.
But the teaching here is profound. Do that evaluation yourself, daily, consistently. Don't wait passively for some future divine judgment.
Take responsibility now.
Exactly. Personal responsibility. Continuous self-improvement now, not deferred.
It really emphasizes owning your spiritual journey immediately. No excuses. And that leads to a really crucial point, distinguishing sources of truth. The source asks which statement is true. Something is correct when it is in agreement with the opinions of other people versus something is correct when it is in agreement with the teachings of God.
This distinction is absolutely fundamental in the Baha'i faith. The true statement is unequivocally the second one. Something is correct when it is in agreement with the teachings of God.
Why is this so important?
It highlights the principle of independent investigation of truth, but, and this is key, with the understanding that ultimate truth, divine guidance, comes from God's messengers.
So it's not just about what's popular.
No, it's about seeking truth from its authoritative, unchanging source, not being swayed by popular opinion, which is often flawed, transient, even self-serving. It provides a stable, eternal compass.
That feels like a huge aha moment, a shift from, whatever's trending to a divinely revealed standard, a moral compass that doesn't change with the wind.
Precisely. It establishes a fixed point for ethical, moral, spiritual decisions, clarity and stability in a complex world.
Okay, let's get even more practical. The source asks, which of the following are pure and goodly deeds? Options are taking care of and teaching children, stealing, praying for the progress of others, telling a small lie to get out of trouble, and helping others and expecting a reward.
Okay, definitely taking care of and teaching children and praying for the progress of others. Those are pure and goodly.
Why?
They're selfless, foster growth, contribute to humanity's future, show love without expecting anything back. They uplift everyone involved.
Honoring others?
Well, stealing is obviously out, violates justice, trust, rights. Telling a small lie, also not pure and goodly. It undermines truthfulness, which we'll see is foundational.
Even a small lie.
Even a small one. And helping others and expecting a reward, that's tricky. Helping is good, commendable,
But
the intention matters. Expecting a reward diminishes the purity, the selflessness. True goodly deeds come from altruism, a pure desire to serve.
so it's not just the action, but the spirit behind it, the intention.
Exactly, which is really clear in the next section. It asks, in which of the following situations do the words of the person differ from his or her deeds? And gives some very relatable examples.
Okay, let's hear them.
Someone keeps repeating that we should all be united, but behaves in a way that creates conflict.
Seen that one.
Someone praises the value of a chaste life, but has sexual relations outside of marriage.
Okay.
Someone consumes alcohol occasionally, while professing to follow a religious faith that prohibits drinking.
Right.
And someone advocates the equality of men and women, but as an employer, pays women less than men for the same job.
Wow. Those are pointed.
In all four, the words starkly differ from the deeds. Classic examples of hypocrisy, inconsistency, directly violating that principle. Beware, lest you walk in the ways of them whose words differ from their deeds. Each one shows that disconnect between belief and behavior, undermines integrity, and if that happens across a community, leads to deep distrust, cynicism, makes progress impossible.
It's like holding up a powerful mirror, isn't it? Makes you look at your own life, where your actions might not quite match your words.
Exactly. A call for self-reflection.
Now, a very direct question from the source about a common practice. Is it permissible for a Baha'i to confess to another person? And if not, what should he or she do instead?
The Baha'i teachings are crystal clear here. No, it is not permissible for a Baha'i to confess sins or faults to another human being. No intermediaries, no religious leaders.
So what should they do?
Instead, the individual turns directly, solely to God. Seek his forgiveness through prayer, sincere repentance, and then, crucially, strive to amend their conduct, fix any wrongs committed.
Why that direct connection?
It profoundly emphasizes the direct, unmediated relationship between the soul and its creator.
Right.
Removes human intermediaries, fosters self-reliance, humility, accountability, and seeking divine grace. You face your shortcomings directly before God.
That's a significant difference from many other traditions. Puts the responsibility right on the individual's connection with God.
It does.
And speaking of divine connection, the source asks about the heaven of celestial glory. What does that mean here?
It refers to a state of profound spiritual exaltation, divine acceptance, ultimate union with God. It's the spiritual ascent of the soul, the boundless reward for a life lived according to God's teachings.
So, not necessarily a place.
Not necessarily a physical place, more a spiritual condition. Boundless light, infinite joy, closeness to the divine essence. Our pure deeds and holy words ascend to this state, showing their spiritual significance, their lasting impact beyond the material world, contributing to our eternal progression.
Okay. And the flip side, what effect do bad deeds have on the world and on those who commit them?
Bad deeds, will they directly detract from the betterment of the world? They sow discord, cause suffering, perpetuate injustice, undermine trust, cooperation, can lead to societal breakdown, conflict.
And on the person?
On the person who commits them, bad deeds have this insidious, corrosive effect on the soul. They darken the heart, obscure spiritual perception, severely impede spiritual progress, create a veil between the individual and God, hinder their ability to reflect divine attributes, experience inner peace. It's a progressive spiritual degradation.
All right, moving into section 3. This section emphasizes again the benefit of memorizing quotations from the writings.
Right.
It notes that, okay, maybe not everyone finds it easy, but the effort itself helps to really engrave these ideas on our hearts and minds, makes them an active part of our consciousness.
It becomes part of you.
Exactly. And the focus here is squarely on truthfulness, starting with a huge statement from Abdu'l-Bahá. Truthfulness is the foundation of all human virtues.
Wow. The foundation.
Yeah. So the question is simple. What is the foundation of all human virtues?
This is truly profound. What's fascinating here is how truthfulness isn't just a virtue, it's the foundation, the bedrock of all human virtue. Meaning, without truthfulness, any other virtue, justice, kindness, loyalty, courage, it lacks a stable, authentic base. If you're not fundamentally truthful.
Your justice might be biased.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your justice might be situational. Your kindness faked for advantage. Loyalty conditional. Courage just to show. Truthfulness underpins authenticity, integrity. Makes all other virtues genuine, sustainable, powerful. It's the essential condition for real virtue.
It's like trying to build a beautiful house on, shaky ground, looks good, but it's unstable.
Perfect analogy. Prone to collapse.
And it connects perfectly to the next quote, also, Abdu'l-Bahá. Without truthfulness, progress and success in all the worlds of God are impossible for any soul.
Impossible.
So what is impossible without truthfulness?
This elevates truthfulness to an absolute necessity for spiritual and even profound material progress and success. And notice, in all the worlds of God, not just here, but our eternal journey too.
Why impossible?
Because without truthfulness, self-deception, false pretenses, lack of integrity, they create these fundamental barriers to learning, to growth, to building genuine, trusting relationships with God and others. You need a trustworthy character rooted in reality to achieve anything meaningful.
So it's more than just not telling lies.
Much more. It's a fundamental orientation towards reality, integrity, authenticity in everything.
And Bahá'u'lláh give us more guidance on how to actually live this truthfulness. Beautify your tongues, O people, with truthfulness, and adorn your souls with the ornament of honesty.
Beautiful.
The questions, with what should we beautify our tongues, and with what should we adorn our souls?
It's a vital parallel. We beautify our tongues with truthfulness. Our speech should be sincere, authentic, free from falsehood, what we say.
Okay.
We adorn our souls with the ornament of honesty, that's deeper, an inner state of integrity, uprightness, adhering to moral principles in all our dealings,
True.
our character, our actions matching our inner rectitude.
So truthfulness is the words, honesty is the whole being.
They're closely related, yes, but the distinction highlights how they influence both outward expression and inner character. It's pervasive.
It really is a holistic approach, not just your mouth, but your heart, your thoughts, your actions.
Exactly.
And that holistic view is emphasized again in this next quote from Bahá'u'lláh. Let your eye be chaste, your hand faithful, your tongue truthful, and your heart enlightened.
All connected.
Yeah, the breakdown is, how should our eye be, our hand, our tongue, our heart?
This outlines an integrated path, a chaste eye, purity in what we see, what we consume mentally, guarding against corrupting influences, lewdness, harm, distraction.
Okay, faithful hand.
Honesty, trustworthiness in actions, especially property, money, commitments, not taking what isn't yours, not betraying trust.
Tongue truthful, they covered that. And heart enlightened.
That's the result. Aligning your eye, hand, tongue with these virtues leads to an enlightened heart. Spiritual insight, understanding, inner radiance illuminates your whole being. It's a blueprint for inner and outer transformation. Every faculty aligned.
So it's not just picking one virtue, it's the whole spiritual ecosystem working together.
Precisely.
And to really test this, Baha'u'lláh gives an extreme challenge, raises the bar incredibly high. They who dwell within the tabernacle of God will refuse, though they be dying of hunger, to stretch their hands and seize unlawfully the property of their neighbor, however vile and worthless he may be.
Dying of hunger.
Yeah. The question, what should we refuse to do, even if we are dying of hunger?
This is an extreme, almost unimaginable test of integrity. Absolute adherence to justice and honesty. It teaches that those truly devoted, spiritually elevated, would never seize unlawfully the property of their neighbor, even starving. Any form of theft, taking what's not yours, doesn't matter how vile you think the owner is.
So principles aren't situational.
Exactly. This raises an important question about the strength of character required. Principles are absolute, universally binding, even in immense hardship, even dealing with difficult people.
That's an incredibly high standard, uncompromising. But it really clarifies what true adherence means. It's unwavering, even beyond instinct. Requires real spiritual discipline.
Right. And as the source material mentions, some exercises in this section have definite, clear-cut answers.
Okay.
While others are more designed for, group discussion, where the value is in the exploration itself, allowing for deeper personal reflection.
That's a helpful distinction. Encourages both clarity and contemplation. Good to know up front.
Yeah.
So jumping into the practical application, can we acquire virtues without truthfulness?
Based on that foundational statement, truthfulness is the foundation of all human virtues. The definitive answer has to be no.
Really? Not at all?
Well, if truthfulness is the absolute foundation, any virtue supposedly built without it would be unstable, superficial, incomplete. Think about it. Can you be truly just if you're habitually untruthful?
Probably not. Justice needs facts, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Justice requires honest assessment of facts, intentions, reality. Lies distort reality. So your justice would be compromised, serving some hidden agenda, not objective truth.
So truthfulness isn't just a virtue, it's the prerequisite for the others to be real.
Authentic and sustainable, yes. Faithfulness, trustworthiness, even real love, they're hollow without that root in truth. They lack authenticity.
Okay. Let's dig into this more with some scenarios. Test our understanding. We'll look at some statements and talk them through, rather than just true-false.
How do you?
First one. A person can be just even if he tells lies. What's your take?
Fundamentally false. Contradicts that core principle. Justice needs honesty. Lies distort. If someone lies, their judgments, their actions can't be truly just. Their justice is compromised by deceit.
Makes sense. Shows a link there. What about someone who steals has a faithful hand?
Also false. A faithful hand means trustworthiness, respecting others' property. Stealing is the direct opposite. It's unfaithfulness, dishonesty, violates rights, erodes trust.
So, to clarify, a faithful hand, by definition, never touches what does not belong to it. Is that right?
Absolutely. That statement is true. Perfectly captures it. Complete integrity, respect for property and rights, actions above reproach.
Okay. Moving to another aspect of purity. To look at pornographic material is contrary to Baha'u'llah's counsel to have an eye that is chaste.
Undoubtedly true. A chaste eye guards spiritual purity, avoids corruption. Pornography promotes objectification, lust, distorts relationships directly contrary to teachings on purity and character, violates the spirit of a chaste eye.
And the most basic definition, truthfulness means not lying.
True at its core, yes. But remember, truthfulness in the writings is more than just not lying. It's an active, positive virtue orienting your whole being to reality and integrity. But yeah, fundamentally, it means not lying.
And building on that, honesty is an ornament of the soul.
True, a direct teaching. Honesty isn't just a rule, it genuinely beautifies our inner being, makes us more radiant, spiritually attractive.
Crucial spiritual implication next. A person who is not truthful can progress spiritually.
Unequivocally false. We heard Abdu'l-Bahá. Without truthfulness, progress and success are impossible. Untruthfulness creates this fundamental barrier. You're living in self-deception or distortion, prevents the soul receiving light, developing real virtues.
So even those little white lies, it is all right to tell lies now and then?
False. Truthfulness is absolute, foundational, not selective or convenient. Even small lies undermine integrity, open the door to bigger deceptions, erode the foundation of character.
What about extreme situations? Stealing is acceptable before God if one is hungry?
False. Baha'u'lláh was direct on this, refusing to seize property even when dying of hunger. Principles of justice, honesty are paramount, regardless of circumstance. Society should help, yes, but the individual upholds divine law even in dire need.
Okay, what if you plan to return it? To take something without permission from its owner, thinking that we will return it later, is not stealing. Still false. Taking without permission, even intending to return it, violates trust and property rights. It's taking what's not yours without permission. Dishonest. Maybe not malicious theft, but still wrong.
On a positive note, when we act honestly and are fair and truthful, our heart is enlightened.
Beautifully true. Directly aligns with that holistic view. Truthful tongue, faithful hand, honesty, fairness, they actively lead to an enlightened heart. Enhance spiritual understanding. Natural consequence.
And finally, that common cynical view. It is impossible to make a business successful without cheating a little.
False. That's a cynical, incorrect worldview. The Baha'i teachings advocate for business with utmost honesty, integrity, trustworthiness. True, lasting success, material and spiritual, is built on these principles, not deceit. Ethical conduct is a source of blessing, real prosperity.
Wow, that was a thorough workout. Really nails down the practical side, the absolute nature of these principles. Now, a more inward question. Is it possible to lie to oneself?
Yes, absolutely. Profoundly possible. Self-deception.
Self-deception, how does that work? It's consciously or subconsciously ignoring, minimizing, distorting facts about your own motives, actions, character. To avoid discomfort, maintain a positive self-image, evade responsibility.
And spiritually.
Spiritually, it's a huge barrier to growth. Prevents genuine self-accounting, amending your life. Creates a false reality inside. Very insidious.
And if that's possible, then considering all this, what do we lose when we tell a lie, whether to others or ourselves?
Several crucial things. First, trust. Not just others' trust, which is hard to rebuild, but maybe worse, trust in ourselves. We compromise our own integrity, authenticity.
Okay, what else?
We lose spiritual light. Truthfulness is a pathway to enlightenment. Lies obscure reality, disconnect us from insight. And ultimately, we lose the capacity for authentic progress and success. Because truth is the foundation for all genuine achievements, spiritual advancement. It's a profound spiritual cost.
Incredibly profound, not just a social slip-up. Deep, lasting spiritual consequences. Okay, building on that. If we were all committed to this level of truthfulness, honesty, what would the world be like if we were all truthful and honest? That's a big question to ponder.
It invites us to envision a transformed world, built on a practical foundation. If everyone were fundamentally truthful, honest, society would change dramatically.
How so?
Imagine. No pervasive deceit, no systemic corruption, no hidden agendas, governments inherently trustworthy, businesses operating with absolute integrity, fair dealings, relationships built on complete transparency, unshakable trust.
Conflict would decrease.
Vastly reduced.
Yeah.
So much conflict stems from misunderstanding, suspicion, hidden motives. Replace that with genuine consultation, mutual respect. Resources distributed justly. Human potential, unleashed energy wasted on suspicion, legal fights, guarding against lies, redirected to constructive efforts, collective well-being.
It sounds like peace.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's the foundation of the most great peace envisioned in the Baha'i Writings. A civilization built on justice, unity, genuine love, profound peace, cooperation, unparalleled collective flourishing.
Okay, Moving into section 5, again, the emphasis is on the immense spiritual reward of memorizing these writings.
Letting them sink in deep.
Yeah, engraving them on our hearts, not just our minds, making them part of who we are. And the focus here shifts to the incredible power of the tongue, starting with this absolutely beautiful quote from Bahá'u'lláh. "A kindly tongue is the lodestone of the hearts of men. It is the bread of the spirit. It clotheth the words with meaning. It is the fountain of the light of wisdom and understanding."
Such rich imagery. Lodestone, bread, fountain.
Right. It paints such a vivid picture. So how can a kindly tongue be described, and what effect does a kindly tongue have on words?
It's so layered. What's fascinating here is how comprehensively it's described. First, a lodestone of the hearts of men. A lodestone is a natural magnet.
Okay, so it attracts.
Exactly. A kindly tongue has magnetic power. Draw of people together, wins hearts through gentleness, compassion, sincerity. It pulls towards unity.
And bread of the spirit.
Kind, uplifting words nourish, sustain spiritual well-being. Like physical bread sustains the body.
Clotheth the words with meaning.
The manner the spirit you speak with gives words true significance, depth, power, beyond just the dictionary definition.
And the fountain of light.
Compassionate, truthful, benevolent speech is a source. Genuine insight, clarity, understanding flow from it, illuminates minds and hearts, speaker and listener. It's not just politeness. It's profoundly impactful, soul-nourishing communication. Transforms relationships.
Truly beautiful. Not just what you say, but how, and the intention, the spiritual energy behind it.
Absolutely.
And that power of words leads right to the critical importance of unity. Abdu'l-Bahá states, "O you beloved of the Lord, in this sacred dispensation, conflict and contention are in no wise permitted. Every aggressor deprives himself of God's grace."
In no wise permitted.
Strong words. So, according to the above quotation, what is not permitted in this dispensation? And what does the aggressor do to himself?
Crystal clear. Conflict and contention are in no wise permitted. Strictly forbidden in this new spiritual era, this sacred dispensation from Baha'u'lláh.
Why such emphasis?
Because the Baha'i faith places supreme, unparalleled importance on unity and harmony. They're the absolute bedrock of a new, peaceful world order. Any aggression, physical, verbal, emotional, is deeply against this core principle.
And the aggressor.
Anyone initiating or perpetuating conflict deprives himself of God's grace, a severe spiritual consequence, severs connection to divine blessings, support, guidance, hinders their own spiritual progress. It's a self-inflicted spiritual wound.
So not just a recommendation, a profound spiritual prohibition with real consequences for the individual.
Very real.
And Baha'u'lláh reinforces this. Nothing whatever can, in this day, inflict a greater harm upon this cause than dissension and strife, contention, estrangement, and apathy among the loved ones of God.
Greater harm.
Wow. Yeah. What conditions inflict the greatest harm on the cause of God?
He lists them vividly.
Yeah.
Dissension and strife, contention, estrangement, and apathy. All things that undermine unity, love, active participation.
Let's break those down. Dissension, strife.
Dissension is disagreement leading to painful division. Strife is bitter, prolonged conflict. Contention is being argumentative, disputatious. Estrangement is feeling alienated, hostile, and apathy. Dangerous lack of interest leading to inaction.
Why are these the greatest harm?
Because they're seen as more damaging than any external opposition. They weaken the spiritual body of the faith from within, undermine the foundation, make it unable to fulfill its mission, radiate its light.
A stark warning. The biggest threats are often internal. Breakdown of unity, love.
Exactly. Not outside forces.
And the antidote. Deep, abiding love. Abdu'l-Bahá says, "Do not be content with showing friendship in words alone. Let your heart burn with loving kindness for all who may cross your path."
Burn with loving kindness.
So what kind of friendship should not satisfy us, and what should burn brightly in our heart?
We shouldn't be content with superficial friendship in words alone. Politeness, pleasantries without real depth, sincerity, connection.
Instead,
our heart should burn with loving kindness for all who may cross our path. Profound, active, heartfelt love radiating outwards to everyone, without distinction, prejudice, reservation. Not just a feeling, an active, burning desire for the well-being, progress, happiness of all humanity.
That's a call for truly transformative, universal love. An inner fire, a spiritual state.
Yeah.
And Abdu'l-Bahá gives us a practical application for this in our inner lives, a powerful spiritual exercise. When a thought of war comes, oppose it by a stronger thought of peace. A thought of hatred must be destroyed by a more powerful thought of love.
Oppose it, destroy it. Very active verbs.
Right. With what should a thought of war be opposed? And with what should a thought of hate be destroyed?
This highlights the internal spiritual struggle, the incredible power of conscious, intentional thought. A
Yes.
thought of war, any negative thought, must be actively, consciously opposed by a stronger thought of peace.
And hatred.
A thought of hatred must be destroyed by a more powerful thought of love. It's not passive wishing. It's active internal cultivation of positive thoughts, emotions.
So we have agency over our inner world.
Profound agency. We can actively choose thoughts that foster peace and love, dismantle negativity at its root. And this raises an important question about the internal work needed for external peace.
Meaning?
True, lasting peace in the world starts inside each person, consciously replacing negativity with positive, constructive, loving thoughts and intentions. That's the groundwork.
Okay, so with those profound quotes in mind, let's get practical. How do we actively apply these principles day to day? First, that kindly tongue. In what way does a kindly tongue act like a lodestone?
Right, the magnet analogy. A kindly tongue acts like a lodestone because it attracts people. Just like a magnet draws metal, kind words spoken with genuine compassion, sincerity, they draw hearts closer.
Foster connection.
Deep connection, trust, affection creates that pull towards unity, understanding, goodwill, makes people more receptive.
Perfect analogy. Okay, let's look at some common statements. Which ones truly proceed from a kindly tongue, and what's their impact?
Let's hear them.
Don't bother me.
Unkind, dismissive, pushes away.
Why don't you understand this?
Unkind, impatient, judgmental, creates distance.
Would you care to wait, please?
Kindly, expresses patience, respect, opens doors.
What terrible children.
Unkind, judgmental, harsh, shuts down connection.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Kindly, sincere appreciation, builds goodwill.
I don't have any time for you now. I'm busy.
Can be unkind, depending on tone,
Yeah.
but generally dismissive. Lacks empathy, creates distance.
The impact is almost immediate, isn't it? You feel that emotional disconnect with the unkind ones.
Instantly, you feel the withdrawal of goodwill.
Okay, now let's look at scenarios and identify conflict and contention or estrangement in community interactions.
Right.
Two people express different ideas on some topic during consultation.
That's not conflict or contention. That's healthy, essential Baha'i consultation. Diverse views, shared respectfully, aiming for unified truth.
Good distinction. Okay, next. Two people become upset and argue with one another during consultation.
That is conflict contention, a breakdown of consultation, destructive.
Two people stop attending a weekly devotional gathering because they are not on speaking terms with each other.
Clear, painful estrangement, negative impact on community, worship.
Members of a team collaborating on a project keep complaining, each one saying that the others are not doing their part.
Internal strife, contention, undermines collective effort, trust, makes progress impossible.
Okay. What about these, showing more subtle signs of estrangement? Two friends pass by one another on the street but ignore each other.
Blatant estrangement, deliberate avoidance, broke down in relationship.
Someone arrives at a devotional gathering and everyone greets her warmly.
The opposite, demonstrates unity, warmth, welcoming, beautiful.
Although they are polite to one another, two members of a group are reluctant to participate in a project together.
Definitely signs of estrangement, even with politeness. The reluctance shows a deeper division, unresolved issue, lack of true unity of spirit.
So politeness isn't always unity.
Crucial distinction.
Mm-hmm.
That polite veneer can hide real disconnection. Need authentic community.
Absolutely. Now, let's dive into some more statements prompting critical thinking on speech and conduct.
Let's do it.
One should say exactly what one thinks of others. It does not matter if their hearts are offended.
False. Truthfulness, yes, but tempered with kindness, compassion, wisdom. Speak with a kindly tongue. Avoid unnecessary offense, division. Words should heal, not wound. Unless it's constructive, administrative, for unity's sake.
It is all right to tell lies to avoid conflict.
False. Truthfulness is foundational. True unity, peace, can only be built on truth. Deception, even well-intentioned, undermines trust, creates deeper issues later.
Conflict can be overcome with love and kindness.
Profoundly true. Abdu'l-Bahá said hatred is destroyed by love. Love and kindness, sincerely applied, are powerful antidotes. Disarm anger, foster reconciliation.
Words are more effective when they are said with love.
True. Kindly tongue is lodestone, clothing words with meaning. Love gives words spiritual power, resonance, receptivity. Makes them effective in reaching hearts. Words without love can be cold.
It is all right to fight with someone if he starts it.
False. Conflict and contention are in no wise permitted. Aggression, even responding to it, deprives you of God's grace, perpetuates disunity, Need a higher response? Turn the other cheek? Strive for reconciliation?
One has the right to be sharp with others when one is sick or sad.
False. We're human, yes, but teachings call for consistent kindness, patience, self-control, regardless of inner state. Actions based on principles, and not temporary feelings. A test of character.
It is unkind to laugh at others when they do something wrong.
True. Mocking, disrespectful, unkind. Violates compassion, empathy. Divides, doesn't uplift.
When hard feelings exist between friends, each one should make a special effort to become closer to the other.
True. Proactive spirit of reconciliation, burning with loving kindness. Take initiative for unity, don't wait passively.
When hard feelings exist between friends, each one should wait until the other makes an effort to move closer.
False. Passive approach lets estrangement fester. Counter to active cultivation of love, unity, reconciliation. Puts responsibility solely on the other. Hinders progress.
Now we hit section 7, addressing one of the most serious spiritual illnesses in the Baha'i faith, backbiting.
A major one.
Yeah, and we're consistently encouraged to memorize these quotes to really grasp its gravity, its negative impact. The first from Bahá'u'lláh is striking. Backbiting quencheth the light of the heart and extinguisheth the life of the soul.
Quencheth the light, extinguisheth the life. Heavy.
Very. So what effect does backbiting have on the one who backbites?
It reveals severe, devastating spiritual consequences for the individual. Quench the light of the heart, dims or extinguishes spiritual insight, clarity, inner joy. The heart is the seat of divine knowledge, love, intuition.
And extinguisheth the life of the soul.
Implies profound spiritual deadening, loss of vitality, connection to the spiritual realm, capacity for growth. Backbiting isn't just a social slip-up. It's a potent spiritual poison, harms the one doing it, severs their connection to divine light, stifles their spiritual life force, a self-inflicted spiritual wound of the highest order.
Incredibly powerful, sobering. A self-inflicted wound first, before it even hits others.
Exactly.
Then Baha'u'lláh offers another vital warning, calling for deep humility. Breathe not the sins of others, so long as thou art thyself a sinner.
Humility.
So, what should we think of before breathing the sins of others?
Profound humility, acute self-awareness. Before speaking of others' faults, reflect deeply on our own imperfections, shortcomings, our own vast spiritual needs. We're all fallible, all growing. Judging others when we're imperfect is hypocritical, spiritually unproductive.
Shifts focus inward.
Yes. From external judgment and gossip to internal self-correction, purification, fosters empathy, not condemnation.
It's that immediate check. Am I perfect? No. So maybe my energy is better spent on my own growth, not someone else's perceived flaws.
Precisely.
Which connects directly to the next quote, also Baha'u'lláh. Speak no evil that thou mayest not hear it spoken unto thee, and magnify not the faults of others that thine own faults may not appear great.
Spiritual reciprocity.
Yeah. What will happen to us if we magnify the faults of others?
Reveals that principle of reciprocity and a subtle psychological truth. Speak evil, attract evil speech back. Magnify, exaggerate, focus intensely on others' faults.
Yeah.
Our own faults will, by spiritual law and often in our own perception, appear great. Dwelling on others' flaws makes us miss chances for self-improvement and inadvertently highlights, reinforces our own deficiencies. It's a deflection that backfires spiritually, hinders our vision of our own true state.
Like holding a magnifying glass to someone else's tiny spot, only to realize your own face is covered in smudges you ignored.
Great image.
Yes. And the final quote here, Baha'u'lláh again, really drives it home. O son of being, how couldst thou forget thine own faults and busy thyself with the faults of others?
A direct, penetrating question.
Right. What should we remember when we think of other people's faults?
It's a profound reminder. Our primary, most urgent spiritual task is our own purification and growth, not dissecting, dwelling on, gossiping about others' shortcomings.
So when the urge comes,
remember our own faults immediately. Turn inward with humility. Redirect energy to self-improvement, compassion, covering others' faults, not exposing them. So what does this all mean for our daily practice?
vigilance.
Constant vigilance over thoughts and words. Recognize the profound spiritual harm of dwelling on others' negatives.
Yeah.
Focus relentlessly on our own spiritual transformation.
Okay, so bringing all that insight together, let's look at the very practical side of backbiting for the individual and the community first. What happens to the progress of the soul of a person who focuses on other people's faults?
As the writings make clear, it directly, severely impedes their soul's progress, diverts crucial energy from self-improvement, fosters a critical, judgmental, unloving spirit. We heard it. Quencheth the light of the heart, extinguisheth the life of the soul, significant spiritual stagnation, self-imposed barrier to growth, misplaced focus.
And beyond the individual, what effect does backbiting have on a community?
Profoundly corrosive, destructive, undermines trust at its core. So suspicion creates division, destroys loving fellowship, genuine unity. It's like a virulent spiritual cancer. Eating away at the bonds of affection, common purpose, essential bonds for any collective spiritual effort or mission. Prevents collaboration, stifles initiative, makes building a cohesive, harmonious, effective spiritual environment impossible. One of the greatest enemies of unity, as stated, poisons the wellsprings of love and trust.
Powerful image. Okay, so if we know all this, the direct, practical question.
Yeah.
What do you do when a friend starts to talk about another person's faults? This happens, right?
Regularly, yes. The teachings imply gently but firmly redirect the conversation without being judgmental or self-righteous. Could subtly change the subject to something constructive. Could kindly, clearly point out the spiritual harm of backbiting, maybe quote one of these passages. Or simply excuse yourself if polite redirection fails.
The goal is?
Avoid participating or condoning it. Protect your own spiritual state and contribute to community health and unity. Takes courage, but essential for integrity, protecting the communal bond.
Requires real spiritual fortitude. Okay, let's tackle some more nuanced statements. Clarify the subtleties of what is backbiting and what isn't.
Good. These are important.
When we talk about someone's real faults, we are not backbiting. True or false?
False. The Baha'i definition is discussing faults of others in their absence. Whether the faults are real, imagined, exaggerated, doesn't matter. Factual truth doesn't negate the act. Emphasis is on covering faults, avoiding ill speech behind their back.
What if you try to balance it? When we talk about a person's praiseworthy qualities and his faults at the same time, we are not backbiting.
Also false. Mentioning positives doesn't cancel out speaking of faults in absence. Still backbiting. Teachings say focus entirely on praiseworthy qualities. Actively cover faults. Don't expose them, even partially. Uplift and unify. Don't dissect or criticize.
It seems like backbiting has become a common practice in our society, and we should develop the discipline to avoid it. Fair assessment.
True. The very emphasis in the writings implies it's widespread, insidious, requires conscious, sustained effort, spiritual discipline to overcome. Deeply ingrained. Active vigilance is crucial.
What if you promise secrecy? If the listener promises not to repeat what we say about another person, there is no harm in backbiting.
False. The harm is primarily spiritual. Affects the one backbiting, quenching light, extinguishing life, damages the spiritual fabric of relationships, community. Secrecy doesn't negate the act's consequences or corrosive effect. The sin is in the act itself.
So it's clear, backbiting is one of the greatest enemies of unity.
Unequivocally true. Explicitly stated, reinforced. A primary force creating division, suspicion, estrangement. Fundamentally undermines cohesion.
What about just talking about people generally? If we acquire the habit of talking about other people all the time, we can easily fall into backbiting.
True. Highlights a slippery slope. General habit of gossip, excessive focus on others' lives, easily leads to discussing faults, weaknesses, which is backbiting. It's a precursor.
Now, a very important distinction, especially administratively. When the capacities of different people are discussed in a local spiritual assembly meeting in order to name the members of a committee, this is backbiting. Remind us, the LSA is.
The local spiritual assembly is the local elected governing body of the Baha'i community, and that statement is false.
Why false?
Crucial distinction. Discussion in an administrative body like an LSA for a specific constructive purpose like forming a committee, delegating tasks based on strengths, that's legitimate consultation, not backbiting. Done with spiritual intent, pure motive for community benefit, not idle gossip or criticism. Context and intention are key.
Key point. Administrative necessity versus gossip. Okay. When we feel the urge to backbite, we should remember our own faults.
True. Direct spiritual remedy from the writings. How couldst thou forget thine own faults? Remembering our imperfections fosters humility, redirects energy to self-improvement, the spiritual antidote to judging others.
What if you know someone's genuinely harming the faith or community? When we know a person is doing something that harms the faith, we should discuss it with the members of the community.
False. Correct procedure is not discussing it with the general community. That would lead to backbiting, gossip, disunity.
So what do you do?
Inform the appropriate Baha'i institution. Local spiritual assembly, national spiritual assembly. Ensures concerns are handled through proper channels for resolution. Protects the individual and community unity from destructive rumors.
So confirming, When we know a person is doing something that harms the faith, we should only inform the local spiritual assembly.
True. That's the prescribed procedure in Baha'i administration. Funnels concerns through authorized channels for discreet, just resolution. Protects reputation and community from corrosive gossip.
And finally, it is not wrong for a married couple to talk about other people's faults, since they should not keep secrets from each other. Common situation.
False. Prohibition against backbiting is universal. Applies even within marriage. Intimacy involves sharing, yes, but doesn't exempt from spiritual laws. Such conversations still darken the heart, foster criticism, diminish spiritual light in both. Principles are universal.
Wow.
This set really drives home how pervasive backbiting can be, how subtly it enters, even where we feel it's harmless. Shows the profound need for constant vigilance, unwavering adherence to these principles.
We have covered a tremendous amount of ground, an intense but incredibly insightful exploration of foundational Baha'i principles.
It really has been.
And as we wrap up, it's worth just revisiting the core purpose of this whole unit, which, as you said right at the start, is to help us develop and strengthen that habit of reading passages from the Holy Writings every day and reflecting on their meaning.
Absolutely. The source reminds us, reading the verses of God every morning and evening is a specific teaching of Bahá'u'lláh, explicitly stated as profoundly conducive to our spiritual development, our growth. Not just academic, a direct spiritual obligation with boundless benefit.
And what are those benefits? Baha'u'lláh himself gives this beautiful, compelling invitation. Immerse yourselves in the ocean of my words, that ye may unravel its secrets and discover all the pearls of wisdom that lie hid in its depths.
Such a powerful, evocative metaphor. Ocean of my words highlights the boundless depth, richness, living quality of the writings. Not a shallow pool to skim, an infinite expanse to dive into.
Immerse yourselves.
By immersing consistent, dedicated, reflective reading, we're promised we can unravel its secrets, discover all the pearls of wisdom. Implying profound truths, divine guidance, endless spiritual insights revealed progressively through diligent, heartfelt engagement.
Lifelong discovery.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, yes, an invitation to a lifelong journey of discovery, profound spiritual growth, promising infinite bounties, ever-deepening understanding for those who embark sincerely.
So it's not just duty, it's unlocking boundless wisdom, spiritual treasures for your own journey.
Exactly.
And for listeners inspired to start this daily habit, what's a practical first step? Getting a book, starting the practice?
Well, the source material specifically recommends the hidden words as a good first choice for acquiring a book of Baha'u'llah's writings and starting that daily reading habit.
The hidden words, why that one?
It's relatively short, a collection of incredibly potent poetic aphorisms, direct, profound spiritual guidance on the soul, our relationship with God, the path to inner transformation, an excellent starting point for daily reflection. #outro.
What an incredible deep dive. Understanding the Baha'i Writings from Ruhi Book 1. We've covered some truly profound principles today.
A lot, yes.
The critical importance of deeds over words. The absolute foundation of truthfulness, the transformative power of a kindly tongue, the vital role of unity, and the spiritually destructive nature of backbiting.
Indeed. And these aren't just abstract concepts, right? They're practical guideposts. For building a life of spiritual integrity, for actively contributing to the betterment of the world, right here, right now.
So true.
So as you, our listener, reflect on what we've discussed, what stands out most powerfully to you from today's deep dive? How can you apply these specific insights in your daily life, your interactions right now to cultivate your own spiritual growth, strengthen your relationships, your community?
That's the challenge, the invitation for all of us. And I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Consider how consciously striving in your every moment to align your thoughts, your words, and your deeds with these principles.
Truthfulness, kindness, unity, integrity.
Yeah. How could that not only transform your own being, unlocking inner peace, purpose, but also ripple outwards to reshape the very fabric of society, making that grand vision of the betterment of the world a tangible reality? One action, one word, one truthful heart at a time.
A powerful and achievable vision indeed.
Okay, this was just the first part of our deep dive into Ruhi Book 1. We've got 2 more parts coming for you this week, continuing this incredible journey.
That's right, more to explore.
So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss them. Leave us a comment, your reflections, questions. We love hearing them. And please share this deep dive with anyone else who might benefit.
We truly look forward to continuing this journey through Ruhi Book 1 with you very soon, exploring even more foundational concepts for spiritual growth and service.
Until next time. Keep diving deep.